going to learn about the slopes of lines. Now, there's 4 types of lines. We have lines that go up, lines that go down, horizontal lines, and vertical lines. Mirror me, please. So there's 4 types of lines. We have lines that go up, lines that go down, horizontal lines, and vertical lines. North, I'd like you to tell the South about the 4 types of lines we have. Teach.
Okay. Vertical lines. How many horizontal lines?
Class? Yes. What I really liked about that is everybody was mirroring each other. That's really good.
Oh yeah.
Now, I have a really sad story to tell you today. It's about this guy named Joe. This is Joe right here. And in this particular story, Joe has a disease. And his disease is that he can only walk to the right. Give me an ah. So, when Joe stands on this line and he walks to the right, he goes up. So my slope is positive. When Joe stands on this line and he walks to the right, he goes down, so our slope is negative. So near me please. When Joe is standing on the line that goes up, and walks up the line, the slope is positive. When Joe stands on a line and he walks down, the slope is negative. South, tell the North about the 2 types of lines we just discussed, how the slope is positive when Joe goes up and negative when Joe goes down. Teach.
Okay.
Now on our other 2 lines, we have horizontal lines. Mirror me, please. So we have a horizontal line. Now on a horizontal line, here's Joe standing on a line. When Joe walks to the right, he doesn't go up or down, so there is no change. So the slope of that line is 0.
Settle.
Now when Joe stands on a vertical line and he walks to the right, he falls off the line, breaks into so many pieces that he is undefined. We cannot even define him as Joe anymore. So on a horizontal line, no change, the slope is 0. On a vertical line, Joe falls off, undefined. North, please tell the South about the horizontal and vertical slopes of lines. Teach.
Okay. Up or down, so it's 0. And then if he walks,
Class? Yes. You know right there, but I didn't hear a lot of people having Joe fall off the line and break into many pieces, so I'm going to take a point for that.
Aww.
Now, near me one last time here. There's 4 types of lines. Lines that go up when the slope is positive. Lines that go down when the slope is negative. We have horizontal lines, the slope is 0. And when we have vertical line, Joe falls off. Breaks into so many pieces, he is good. Now it's time for your quiz. Here's your quiz. Now you're not going to say anything. When I point to one of these graphs up here, you're just going to tell me if the slope is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Okay. Let's go with this one. If you have negative, you're right, because imagine Joe standing on the line. He's walking down. Let's try this one. Good. Everybody has positive because Joe's walking up. Slope is 0 because there's no change for Joe. He doesn't go up or down. Negative. Excellent. I'm going to give you a point for that.
Oh, yeah.
So it looks like you guys are understanding how to figure out what slope is. Nice job today.